Welcome to Brain Vision.
To solve this question, we can apply Newton's second law in the direction of the movement. So the movement happens in this direction. And let me say that everything that is pointing there is positive, and everything that is pointing to the opposite side is negative as a consequence. Then, applying Newton's second law in this direction, let me call it the x direction, we get the following. The net force is equal to the mass of the motorcycle times its acceleration. Then, the net force has three components. This one, which is a positive component, 3,150, minus this one, which is a negative component because it points to the negative x direction. And then we have a part of the weight force, because the weight force can be decomposed in two components, this one and this one. Let me call this the x component and this the y component. We will care about the x component for now. So the x component acts in the opposite direction of the movement, so it is negative, so minus wx. This is equal to the mass of the motorcycle times its acceleration. Then how can we calculate the x component of the weight force? Note the following. This angle here is 30 degrees, right? Now let me extend the weight force to form another triangle, this one. Then this is a 90-degree angle, therefore this must be a 60-degree angle. Now note that the y component of the weight force makes 90 degrees with the surface. Then, if they make 90 degrees and this is 60 degrees, this must be 30 degrees. Then this angle is 30 degrees too. Now, to calculate what is the x component, we can use the sine of 30 degrees, because the sine of 30 degrees in that context is given by the opposite side of the triangle. I'm talking about this triangle. So the opposite side is the x component of the weight force divided by the hypotenuse, which is the magnitude of the weight force. Then the x component of the weight force is equal to the magnitude of the weight force times the sine of 30 degrees, which is 1/2. So wx is equal to w divided by 2. And the weight force is given by the mass of the motorcycle times the acceleration of gravity near the surface of the Earth. Then we have this equation. Also remember that g is approximately 9.8 meters per second squared. Then, going back to our equation, we have 3,150 minus 250 minus 292 times 9.8 divided by 2 is equals to 292 times the acceleration. Then we can solve this equation for the acceleration as the acceleration is equals to this minus this times 9.8 divided by 2 is 4.9, and this whole thing is divided by 292. This results in an acceleration of approximately 5.03 meters per second squared.